India and Libya enjoy a strong and enriched bilateral relationship whose genesis goes back centuries, as it is deeply embedded in both our cultures and civilizational heritage. Being the largest democracy in the world, India welcomed the onset of the new Libya as the youngest democracy in the world. Libyans had suffered heavy casualties during the revolution. In order to provide them better medical care, several hundred injured Libyans were also treated in India. Cooperation in healthcare and capacity building remains a priority, since both are well-known strengths of India. Following the launch of the Pan-African e-governance initiative by the late visionary President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a center in Libya pertaining to telemedicine, tele-education, e-governance, etc. was set up. Under this initiative, all nations in the African continent are being connected to India and among themselves through satellite network. Economic cooperation between the two countries spans the entire spectrum of commercial activities. There are several Indian companies, including major public sector undertakings, which have executed a number of projects in Libya. These include construction of hospitals, houses, schools, roads, power plants, airports, dams, transmission lines, etc. Indian companies, especially in hydrocarbon, power, construction and IT sectors, have several ongoing projects in Libya. In order to partake in New Libya's reconstruction and development efforts, almost all Indian companies have committed to starting their unfinished projects and businesses for the mutual benefit of the two countries. Trade between the two countries has seen healthy growth, though it largely remains in favor of Libya. Culture is an integral part of our dialogue and commonality between our two peoples. Hence, cultural exchanges assume great importance in the bilateral discourse. The complementarities and synergy between the two democracies, polity, economy and culture, the Indo-Libyan kaleidoscope of cooperation, are set to touch new heights and achievements in the coming days. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time. I'm Siddharth Varadarajan. And as part of our continuing series of interviews for the upcoming India-Africa Forum Summit, I'm joined today by the Ambassador of Libya, Dr. Ali Al-Isawi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome, thank you.
Before we start discussing the bilateral relationship between India and Libya, and of course Africa and India, I want to take a few minutes to introduce our viewers to you personally, because you have a very fascinating biography. You were the ambassador of Libya during the earlier regime of Muammar Gaddafi, and you resigned soon after the popular uprising against that government began. And in a way you joined hands then with the revolutionary forces, the transitional forces. Tell us something about those days and the decision that you took at that time.
Well, in that time, it was in 2011. I just arrived to India about 3 months. I just presented my credentials when things started in my country. So I chose to join my people instead of joining the regime. So that's the background of my decision. After 2 days from this revolution, I presented my resignation. And I joined my people. I went back. I was the whole period with my people until things finished. And
so where were you based? You left Delhi and you went to Benghazi?
I went to Benghazi.
Benghazi, okay.
We established the Executive Office for the Revolution,
right,
where we received foreign ministers coming and recognitions from foreign governments, and we organized support for the Libyan during the crisis.
Right. And you personally led you were involved in the diplomatic outreach of the revolutionary movement, as it were.
Yes, we personally I visited many countries. I visited Italy, and we got recognition from Italian government for the NTC, National Transitional Council, and I visited Paris. We got the recognition from France, from President Sarkozy in the early days. So we tried to get the support for the Libyans during the sufferness and the crisis, and to transform the system to a democratic system where the people can choose who rule them.
Right. Now, the question of Libya came up in the Security Council soon after the uprising began. and there was a debate as to how the international community should respond. There was initially a no-fly zone, and finally France, the UK and the US resorted to airstrikes. In your view, was that absolutely necessary, or could the Libyan popular forces have triumphed against the Gaddafi regime on their own?
Well, because of this kind of brutal aggression against the civilians in that time, which never happened. Usually you start with hot water, plastic bullet, but that was not what's going on in that time. In the first days, regime start killing the people in a brutal way. So that's why there was strong reaction from international community regarding that. There was two resolutions from Security Councils, and before that it was the Arab League meeting regarding this. It was resolution 1970 and 1973.
Right, and so following the in a way the toppling of the Gaddafi regime, you then returned to your diplomatic station in Delhi.
Yes, I was in Delhi. I chose not to go for politics or political parties or this competition for the power, which is going on normally.
Right.
I chosen to go back to the same position I was because I'm diplomatic career. I'm from foreign affairs staff.
Right.
I'm diplomatic career.
Right. So yours was a decision of conscience at a moment of difficulty that your country was going through. And when that transition process reached a certain stage, you came back to your job.
Yes, and also I came with a wish that I could do what things I wished to do in the early days when I came for the first time.
Right.
Between our two countries.
Right.
Because I'm confident that the potential between the two countries is very high.
Right.
And it's not utilized until now yet.
Before we come to the bilateral and explore the potential for greater economic and political cooperation, tell us something about the transition process in Libya. The government is still called the Transitional National Council. There's the process of writing the constitution. How far has the process reached, and when will Libya come out of this so-called transitional process and have a full-fledged government, so to speak?
Okay, as you may be aware that after 42 years from a system where there is no elections, there is no democratic system, there is no effective constitution.
Only the Green Book.
Only the Green Book and one-man show.
Yes.
Which is not relevant for the country, and the country deserves the better. Yeah. So now we started changing the whole system, restructuring the organizations and the institutions and the laws and regulations, and now we are drafting the constitution also. So there's a lot of things to be done in the country, which takes some time. This time is called the transitional period, with all side effects of transition. We expect drafting constitution will be soon to be presented for referendum. We have 60 elected members of the constitutional committee.
And they were elected in 2012 in the in elections?
Yes, special law for electing the members who will draft the constitution. There was a debate between nominating the people from the parliament who will draft the constitution, or elect them separately and give them more power and more legitimacy to draft the constitution for the country. So we went for the second option, to elect those people to draft the constitution. Now they are working. They almost finished the first draft, which we feel that there will be a lot of debate about it, and it will be offered for referendum after that.
Right. And what is the system of government that is being envisaged? Presidential form or a parliamentary form?
Actually, officially, this draft was not published yet.
Okay.
But there is a debate between presidential system and parliamentarian system, and which is good for the country. There is a big debate in this committee.
Right.
not only for this, but for many issues, the role of civil society,
Human rights.
yes, human rights, the level of freedoms, the economic identity of the country, what kind of identity we'll have, the role of the private sector, a lot of controversial issues.
Right. Issues that, in a sense, were left unresolved over the last 45 years.
Yes, issues that caused big sufferings in the decades ago.
Right. Right. And the finalization of the constitution, as you say, will happen with the referendum. What about the government taking on the shape of a regular government with a prime minister and so on? I believe that process also is coming to a conclusion fairly soon.
Yes, now we are in transitional period. We are planning to have the national unity government, right. And should be accredited and given the trust from the parliament.
Right.
We expect this will happen in a few days, from now.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellency, one of the questions that people have about the transition process is, and in a way this is a product of how the revolution unfolded, is whether the authority of the Transitional National Council, which is your government, extends across the entire territory of Libya. We read about militia groups that contest the authority of Tripoli. How hopeful are you that when this process plays out, the Libyan government will be able to exercise full control over the entire territory of Libya, and that these kind of groups of militias will accept this authority?
No doubt, we are confident that things will improve, and sooner or later things will come to normal, law and order, and strong government will be there. Of course, it will take time, because after, as I said, 40 years from one man show and single point of view, we need time to have our constitution, our regulations, right. Institutions, law and order. So it will take its time, but sooner or later things will become better than before.
Right. On that note, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we will discuss specifics of the bilateral relationship between India and Libya. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. My guest today is Dr. Ali Al-Isawi, Ambassador of Libya. Before we took our break, we were discussing the overall internal situation, and I want to move now to the bilateral relationship. You mentioned that India-Libya relations haven't really realized the potential that they're capable of. Trade is not as high as it ought to be. Give us a sense of what kind of numbers are we looking at? I understand bilateral trade is not even $1 billion yet.
Yes, bilateral trade is less than 1 billion between the two countries, but it's increased.
And the composition must be mainly what? Petrochemicals?
Petrochemicals from our side,
right.
And many raw materials, construction materials, food, many items, machinery from Indian side. Right. But as I said, the potential is very high. It's not utilized yet. It's increasing, because since 2007 until 2014, there was 182% increase in the volume of trade between the two countries. Right. So volume is increasing notably, but it's under the expectation from the both sides. Right. And not only the trade, the potential between the two countries is wide range of sectors. For example, training, education, health sector, investment, which is not up to the level of expectation between the two countries.
If you look at North Africa, you have Indian firms that have invested in Egypt, in Tunisia, in Morocco, in phosphates, for example. What's the potential for Indian companies to invest in the form of FDI in Libya right now?
There is big potential. We have very good investment law with all kind of guarantees and protection for foreign investments, and the potential to invest
including in the oil sector, oil and gas.
Including in oil sector. And in the last meeting of Petrotech conference here we had the oil minister came to here, and he offered the Indian companies and Indian side to participate in the new industrial plan for Libya, which worth about 45 billion. So he invited the Indian companies and Indian government also to participate in the new road map for industrial sector,
Right.
oil and other.
Now, so far, correct me if I'm wrong, but most Indian companies, or perhaps all of them, that are involved in Libya are mainly in project implementation, engineering, infrastructure. They're not actually investing anything, but they're implementing existing projects.
Contracting,
right?
yes. This is most of the companies doing this, consultant, engineering, and otherwise,
Right.
construction and in oil sector.
So ONGC, Dastur.
ONGC, Dastur, Shaborji Balunji, Ponjloid.
Right. And this is, of course,
this construction.
And this is an old relationship. I mean, Indian companies have been implementing projects in Libya going back for decades. Exactly.
For decades.
Exactly.
They have very good reputation there. They can deliver, and they have big potential. Especially in the future, near future, will be huge reconstruction plan for the country. Many projects will be on. And maybe that's why there was no investment, because the system was offering contracts only. There was no support for foreign investment or local investment. But now things will start as BBB, for example,
Right.
public-private partnerships, which will give very good opportunity for Indian companies to be part of that.
How badly has Libya been affected by the decline in oil prices? You are primarily an oil exporter,
Yes.
and the fall has been dramatic. I mean, it's been beneficial for a country like India, which imports. But what, from Libya's point of view, this must have affected your budgets, your fiscal constraints.
Yeah, because we are oil-dominated economy.
Yeah.
So any change in the oil prices in the world will affect us directly. And most of our hard currency revenues is coming from oil sector. So any drop in the prices in the sector will affect us directly. When the oil prices goes down, we have to cut the budget and reduce the budget immediately.
Right.
And
Which
we
has
have
all
to,
kinds
we
of
have to respond to that.
social consequences, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And we try to mitigate the effects of the oil prices by diversifying the economy. We reduce the role of oil in the economy and increase the role of other sectors like service, construction, tourism, and so on. So we reduce the side effect of oil price on our economy. We try to do that. We're still not up to the level we want, but we are doing this.
One area of India-Libya cooperation in the past has been the presence of Indian expatriates in Libya, teachers, engineers, doctors. Since the transition, since the revolution, concerns about the security situation in Libya have led to many Indians leaving or not taking up jobs in Libya. How much of a problem is this, the security situation that expatriates face?
Of course, the security situation during the transitional period in anywhere in any country will affect the business and the foreigners in the country.
Right.
We are trying to give as much as we can security for mainly for the foreigners there in the country, and not to lose anyone who participate in our economy and support. We have a lot of foreigners working including Indians, in health sector, education, and service, and in infrastructure also. So those people, when they leave, they will affect these sectors, of course. Because we are a very small population, we are only 7 million, right. 7 million, about 6 million, 6 million population. And the participation of foreigners.
In a country that's one of the largest in Africa, actually, in terms of area.
Yeah, large country with a small population, with the huge projects we have, so participation of foreigners is very big and crucial. We try to give them whatever support we can during this tough period of Libya.
Among the sources of instability, or among the groups that are active, there is concern in Libya and in North Africa and also in a place like India about the growing reach and influence of so-called Islamic State, Daesh. To what extent have they made their presence felt in Libya, and how much of a priority is this for the Libyan government to deal with the threat from Daesh right now?
As I said, in these kind of circumstances, transitional period from changing from to a regime another to another, this period is very crucial, where these kind of phenomenons will come and become very present in such circumstances. So we try to make this period as short as we can. So the new government will take care of these issues immediately. It's top priority. It's top priority to guarantee the security situation in the country for many reasons. Because we will not have any kind of development if security situation will not improve. No investors will come and no workers will come to the economy if the security situation will not improve. So this is the top priority of the next government will be coming to take care of these issues and reduce the side effect of the transitional period as much as we can.
We hope Libya will be represented at the highest level at the India-Africa Forum Summit. But as a Libyan diplomat, as an economist, and as an African, tell us something about how Africa views India, the importance of India. Why is this summit important for you and for Libya?
Okay, as a bilateral relation, as I said, we have very long relationship back to 1969. Right. We have many agreements and treaties, about 6 agreements, very important agreements between the two countries. We have political consultation regarding the mutual interest issues in the world and bilaterally also. But as Africa also, as African country, we have also a very good relation with India. We have a lot of citizens originating from Indian origin in African countries, and also vice versa. So, and regarding the development and support for African countries, for me, I see one of the biggest partners is India.
Right.
Success story in the IT, in the education, in development and growth rate from agriculture economy to industrial and high-tech economy. This is a model for the African countries, including my country. So as I said, the potential is too high between Libya and India and Africa and India also. But we are not utilizing this yet. I hope this summit will help and increase the real projects and cooperation between the two parts, Libya and India, India and Africa, up to the expectation of the both sides.
On that note, Dr. Al-Isawi, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on Indian Standard Time.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to your channel and to your people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That wraps up this episode of IST. Do join us again with another guest another week. Thank you.